So Africa is now saying that they deserve a seat on the table. They deserve to be treated as equals to the West and the East, which I think is a fair request. But before we get into that, and before I start telling you my own take on this whole thing, let's watch this short video, shall we?
All right, well, Africa is making serious strides to break with the US dollar and the West in general. Many of those moves are happening this week. More than 20 African nations are expected to attend the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum that starts today in Russia. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. But first, Clayton and I, we were traveling recently in Egypt, and we were looking at the menu and we said, why does this Lebanese wine, which is close to Egypt, why is this so expensive? It's $50. And they said because of import trades. So Egypt cannot trade freely with Lebanon, which is just next door, or Jordan, or they have no trade agreements that the European Union enjoys, or the United States enjoys, or other blocs enjoy. Africa has been prevented from doing that. Well, now they are going forward with this system. What he mentions here is Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. It's called PAPSS. It runs through a central bank that has been started in Egypt. It's called Afra-Exim Bank. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, it doesn't flow. They need to come up with a new name.
Now, it is based in Egypt and is shareholder owned. He says it is African owned, but it is also heavily invested in by China. Take a look. This was from 2012, I believe. No, 2019. Says they were receiving $850 million from Chinese financial institutions. Well,
Yeah, I understand the argument. I get the hypocrisy in it. But if there's one thing that has really been to like a negative impact on Africa is that most African leaders do not do their homework. They just follow what they are being told by others. Because the West doing whatever they are doing in Africa, the West making sure that Africa stays poor so that they can extract whatever they want to extract, making sure that Africa doesn't grow so that they can be dependable on the West. It's not just the West doing it, it's also African leaders doing it. They haven't taken upon themselves their duty and responsibilities to their individual countries. As a leader, it is your job to build your country. As a leader, it is your job to make sure that your country is respected. Your fellow countrymen can live peacefully, happily, and they can also be prosperous. That is your job as a leader. So if you let the West dictate whatever they want to dictate, it's your fault. It's entirely your fault. So I have been saying this that I am happy with the direction at which things are now going in Africa. I am so happy that we are beginning to get some of these Pan African leaders who are now saying that Africa needs to take a new direction. Africa needs to create a different path for herself, which is a very, very great thing. But we must not forget the fact that Africa is so good at talking, but not walking the talk. Africa is good at creating these agendas as and good at discussing and deliberating on all these issues. But Africa is very, very poor at implementing anything. I can say that from personal experience, from my own home country. We are good at finger pointing what the problems are. We are good at putting up a panel to discuss and deliberate on these issues. We even go as far as even hiring professionals to look into the issues, to look at every single corner of the problem. The professionals will do their job. They will come and they will deliberate. They will give the positive and negative side of the problem. They will give the go-ahead, and they will even offer solutions to these problems. But do you know where everything dies? Implementation. When it gets to the time of implementing what we have been deliberating for years, what we've spent taxpayers' money on for years, what we've talked about, and what we've unanimously accepted or agree as a problem. When it gets to the time for us to fix that problem, everything dies down. Everything. And it's the same thing with the African Union. It's the same thing with West Africa. It's the same thing with Central Africa. They come up with proposal. They deliberate. I'm not saying it's easy. No, I know it's not easy. Dealing with 53 countries or all 53 countries to accept to a policy is tough. But then again, if they put the interests of Africa ahead, if they put the interests of their people ahead, then they will always agree with what they think is best for Africa. Take, for example, the African Common Passport. How long has that been discussed? And to date, there is no prospect of it ever being implemented. Some members have accepted, some have not. What about the African Continental Free Trade Agreement? How has it gone so far? Or even the West African Common Currency, is it ECO? How has it gone so far? So my problem is, if you are going to ask for a seat on the table, if you are going to suggest strongly that people respect you or that people give you the respect that you think you deserve, you must also be able to prove to them why you think you deserve the respect that you think you deserve. You cannot just tell people to respect you. You cannot just tell people that you deserve a seat on the table without proving yourself to them, without really doing something that will make people think of you as someone who is worth their respect or who is deserving of their respect. Remember, respect is not given, it's taken. So you must do something that people will realize, people will see and realize that for sure, this person deserves our respect. We need to respect this person for what he or she has done. That is how people respect one another. They don't just respect them because they are humans. No. They don't just respect them because they live near to them or because they are neighbors. No. They respect them for the contribution they have made to society or to themselves. That is how you get respect. But you guys out there, what do you think, or what is your take about this whole issue of Africa asking for a place on the table, for Africa asking to be treated fairly at the international scene? Do you think that Africa has done enough to deserve this level of respect they are asking for? Share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please do not forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of goodwill, like the way you're doing just now, help us a lot. I shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.